fucking easy street, then you get kicked in the fucking face.
In the next bubble screen over here, let's throw curls.
What are the whys, right? What are the whys?
Bears Hour Live.
The Tape Never Lies Network.
32 is the identity.
Yeah, you look at the tape. So, as a coach, your resume is the tape.
Loses the football, strip sack, and
Bears Hour Live.
Give me some fucking
Bears Hour Live. We go online right after Bears games with your boys draft talking the smartest man alive. Yo. Bears Hour Live.
Son of a bitch, you better block.
Bears Hour Live. We go online right after Bears games with your boys draft talking the smartest man alive. Ran up with the true analysis. You expect raw passion for the show.
You saw the growth in
locked
Justin
in with real
Fields.
emotion and passion for every play. Coach Phil to bring that range within with facts like Shayne. Post game show like nothing else you're gonna hear. Some can try to copy, but a bucket's not sincere. Delivering the truth on what just happened, to be clear. That's why we're on TV, so you can see it, not just hear. Hey yo, with Draft Dr. Phil, you know it's always hit sticks. True to fundamentals, never gimmicks and tricks. Guess they're moving Soldier Field up to Arlington Heights. Mill out counting bucks while the mayor picks fights. Our life keeps growing, Shayne's all-knowing. Delivering the truth on how the QB's throwing. Dimes on time, or just lacking fundamental. Whatever the case, we get hot like Cecil. Fiery discussion on what happened in the game. This ain't your daddy's postgame, so expect a fucking flame. Not for the average fan, I love they can survive.
But don't you worry.
Bears Hour Live.
Bears Hour Live. Bears Hour Live. We go
Let him sit his ass there again. I don't think we're that much
the myth, the rent legend, Dr. Phil Otoshun.
This is football, baby. Culture is the problem. Let's get it on. Little things. Bears Hour Live, Bears Hour
Son of a bitch, you better
Bears
block.
Hour Live.
That's what happens. That's when you have a real
Right
good
after Bears
And let's
games
get it
with
on.
your boys draft talk and the smartest.
Give me some fucking names.
This is Bears Hour Live.
Welcome back. No Yo's here because this is BHL. And we're back, baby. Week 1 preseason. Been waiting a long time for this. Some good, some bad, like always. But we're going to break it all down for you guys here. Glad to be back. TTNL Network, always grinding like we always do. Bears Week 1 preseason versus Kansas City, 19-14 winners. But you guys aren't here to listen to me talk about it like we do on BHL. We flip it over to the man himself, DDP. It's rant time.
I just realized, Shayne, we can actually have music behind my rant, but Bratcher is absent from school today. I'll have to pick out rant music for the season. Listen, football's back. We're not going to do that. Football's back, and the Chicago Bears are back. You know, the timing of Shayne passing it to me just coincides with Steph making her shake, and there it ends. So if you could have heard the shake being anyway fired up, because the Chicago Eberflus, the era begins. But before we get into that, really the focus has to be, honestly, the elephant in the room that is the Chicago Bears. Your football field is for the Chicago Bears. To have it look the way it looked today is a disgrace of epic proportions. You're talking about a culture change, and yet the field still looks like the pits. It's unbelievable that a high school field in Texas and a high school field in Louisiana and a high school field in New Jersey in a swamp could look better than the chartered franchise at Soldier Field. There is something to be said about preparation. As a Bears fan, You're getting clowned around the league because of what it is you're putting, whether that be the Chicago Park District's fault, the McCaskies, and everybody having a pull-a-war politic tug-of-war. At the end of the day, there's million-dollar players out there, investments that are playing on that piece of garbage football field that looked like it was November and all dug up with sand and pitfalls. I think we'll have a text of this later, but the reality is that has to be opening day of Eberflus and Paul, and everybody's waiting for it, and your stage set looks like a travesty. A travesty. All the more ammunition of why the Bears are going to be moving to Arlington Heights, right? That's the unfortunate thing in that. I have to rant on it because it's unfortunate. Now, in the beginning of this football game, Justin Fields looks confused in the pocket. I want to see him step up. I don't want to see you rolling out every time. Don't try to evade. Believe in the pocket. I know there's a lot of chaos at the positions and offensive line positions, tackle, center. Sam Mustipher experience is still going on. The reality of that is not okay. But Justin has to be in better. Again, this is a scrimmage. Let's not get this twisted. Let's not hit any panic buttons. There's a lot of things good and bad you're going to see out there. But I'm not going to be calling it a day, and I'm certainly going to be fucking watching every play of this game so I can see who's giving 100%. If you're another network and you're going to sleep or watching a soccer game at that time, then you're missing the whole process of hits and loafs and the philosophy of how you're seeing Ian Cunningham and Ryan Poles check boxes. Who wants to be on this fucking football team? I know 57 does. I know he wants to be. Is there any doubt in anyone's mind that he's going to want to be there? This is football, baby. This is football. When the pads come on, there's nowhere to hide. The punt's coming down. Daz has got to catch it. The same errors can't be consistent. When you start having consistent errors, the only consistent stat you're going to get is losses in the L column. But today, I felt like Eberflus showed some things that I didn't see from Matt Nagy. The challenge was excellent. He saw it, he directed it. I haven't felt that way with the coach. We were going to commercial. We were moving the chains with Jim and whatever the heck this dude's name is on there, right? Nope. Josh Gordon's foot is out of bounds. Eberflus. Challenge. Got to be maniacal. Now, the only issue was first half, Justin gets hit in the face late, should have been a flag. Coach Eberflus, get your ass on the field because you're going to let them know that ain't going to be tolerated with my fucking quarterback. I ain't Matt Nagy across the field. We ain't going to let that shit happen on our fucking home field. And every one of you knows if that was Aaron Rodgers, Tom Brady, Pat Mahomes, the flag is fucking flying from 4 refs. 4. So it's up to me as the head coach to set the goddamn tone. You are not going to hit our quarterback late. You are not. He's sliding. It's a travesty that it wasn't called, but it's a learning moment. And Coach Eberflus has to go on the football field. Now, some real positives today. In fact, my biggest, forget 57, Sandberg, great. Love him. I'll tell you right now, number 9, Jaquan Brisker is going to be exactly what TTNL, me and my father breaking down his tape, said he's going to be. I'm telling you, he is Mike Brown and Brian Urlacher's baby. They combine. That's how good this kid, and he's a rookie. And he is something special. That's not taking anything away from Sam. I'm watching. I am like getting goosebumps, excited about Brisker and what he's going to bring to the Chicago Bears. So don't take anything away. There's no missing Wk.1 if he's going to be here. You're missing a bunch of players on offense as well, including the identity. And by the way, the Khalil Herbert stuff, put it in your back pocket and save it for. There's no comparison, Bratcher. There's no comparison. Anybody. There's elite and then there's good.
You must go to the top of your fucking class.
Don't get too excited. I don't know who's giving that drop, but the reality is opening day Bears Hour Live, Shayne. That is my rant. Not my best, but it certainly is where we stood in opening days, Shayne. Football is back. BHL is back. I'm excited. I tried to capture everything, Shayne, I could think of, but I think you had to leave with the field.
Hey, you always have to go back to the tape, and we do have to just let you know his last name is Sanborn, not Sandberg. But other than that, it was aces.
I'm never gonna get a name right.
It's only a name.
It's only a name.
No, but that's
57.
That's exactly what you want to see in these games. Is you want to see these UDFAs, these late round guys step up. Trestan Ebner, couple of things that I didn't like initially, but then he went out and he made some plays. Daz Newsome muffed the punt, came back, had a catch, but he Jalen Ragered it, and if you really look in there quick, he double clutched it a little bit. Yeah, we talked about it immediately.
As great of as a route and a great concept that we haven't seen, and that is a testament to Getsy and their teaching. Newsome still bobbles that catch. You got to catch it clean. You're that open. Make the clean catch. Definitely agree with you on that. It's unfortunate because we don't get to see, everything. We got a lot to get into today with Bears Hour Live. You're tuning in, obviously, the first scrimmage of the season for the Chicago Bears. And I always have said that since I was on the old network to give people perspective. It's a scrimmage right now. It is not a game. You're simulating game situations, and this is the best moments of teaching for you.
Yeah. Everybody misses it so much. You end up overanalyzing every single situation, and this is essentially a glorified game. But at the same time, you want to see guys, if they make a mistake, you want to see them rectify it and come back and make a play. We saw that. Somebody's hard at work.
In here.
There's Bratcher.
Anyway, let's bring in my dad, Coach O. Are they going to do a presser too today? Hope so.
Yeah, I'm waiting on it.
Hey guys,
there he is. What's up, Coach?
How you doing? You're back.
I enjoyed it. I watched the first part of the first half, and I said, "Well, we got to work on that offensive line. That's what I'm going to do."
Exactly.
That's the big check.
Oh yeah.
I don't care if you bring somebody else in, but that kid needs protection. You, Phil, said, I want to see him stay in the pocket. If he stayed in the pocket, he got his ass whipped today. He probably got head-to-head contact. He needed to get out of there. But all said and done, I was just thinking, Pat said, my wife said the same thing. He's too slow getting rid of the ball. I said, Pat, let me tell you something. He's slower than Brady. No question about it. But the whole thing is, if you give this kid time, he will eat you up because he's so accurate. You see the 2 throws he made?
Yeah.
Yes.
I am telling you, those 2 throws, I don't care. They're great catches. But the defensive guy can't get the ball, and it's there. So I'm telling you right now, don't get down on the quarterback. He's going to be fine.
I did think I'm with Mom. I'm with
the other thing
Mom.
I want to tell you about, I was so happy about, I wanted to see tackling. And boy, did I see tackling. I seen it from the safeties to the corners. I saw the linebackers. I like the philosophy of this defense. This defense, remember I told you, Phil, you attack and react. Those guys, it's a penetrating defense. They're playing a 4-3, and they're penetrating. The linebackers don't have any holes. They're like overlappers. You know what I mean? There were wide plays like you hit and bounce, and who's there? The linebacker. Because he's not penetrating. He's not going into any gaps that he has to go to unless the back is there.
Patient.
Yeah,
and he's
so
sitting in there.
I'm pretty excited about that. I mean, those guys are penetrating, and when it comes to penetration, you get the pass rush. And then you see what happened today. Even their star quarterback back there, he got hit a couple of times.
Oh, yeah.
Really good.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah. Yeah, he did. And
I'm very impressed. I
agree with you, Dad. I do agree with you. The offense, obviously the offensive line, you and I have broken this down. The Sam Mustipher stuff, I still don't get it. I really don't. We're going to watch a play here, Shayne. Let's run it right now before Coach Eberflus gets up there. Again, I want you guys and Bears Hour Live listeners and fans. We popped up at halftime. Become a patron. The tape never lies. This is what we do here. First of all, this is third down, backed up into your goal line area here. And I want you to see the snap is way off to the right. It's way off to the right. See it right there? So that's a snap. Now, listen. We got a full-on blitz here. Now, it's a concept versus a zone concept blitz where they're going to bring the 47 in there to dog you. But you see the center, Mustipher's eyeballing 98. 47 is trying to take his attention away, and he doesn't. 26 is coming to A-gap. Behind 26 is 24, who Whitehair sees. So right now, 67 should put an arm out for 98 to pass him to the guard. And you'll see what happens. He doesn't do it. He turns inside. And when you turn inside like that, you're wet. You can't get that arm out there to help. Says the right guard has to pick up the other blitz, and he almost gets a sack here. This is the kind of stuff that a veteran – this is a great throw. You're going to see it. Again, he's going there all the way. He already knew what he had. He had the blitz going. He had a zone concept behind it that he knew he was getting the guy over the top. And you could see Mustipher still allows the guy to go. And this is just a great catch by Sharp, who Tajay Sharp made some great catches today. He was a bright spot on this foot. But you see Justin getting it outside those numbers and give it to your playmakers. But again, the Sam Mustipher stuff, I saw it in the run game too. He gets beat up the field. Herbert on that third down play, Shayne, that you and I hated, the draw.
Yeah,
call.
I mean,
If I could just interject for a minute.
Go ahead.
I just want to say something because your listeners out there, just like Pat. I said, listen, he's going against the first unit. These are their starters. Those Simeon who comes in later and he looks like he's really throwing the ball real well, but he had no pressure on him.
Right.
Why? Because maybe the same guys. I really couldn't tell whether they were the same guys or not. But they're playing against guys that are backups and rookies. So you're going to get more time. Those number one guys, and believe me, Kansas City has improved defensively. They've got some people that can rush.
Oh, the kid from Purdue is one of my favorites coming out. The Greek. But anyway, yeah.
That's the thing I wanted to tell him. You can't say, those guys look better than he does. It's only because of the people.
Well, it's also a new offense, Dad. It's a new offense for Justin Fields. It's a new offense.
Right. And that to me is why to me, that's why that 3rd and 6 that they tried to sneak in the draw play there was a missed opportunity, to the point that we're saying that this is essentially a glorified practice. Those things are critical. I was excited to see him go for 2. I didn't want to see them run the ball there, but they did and still got in. But it's, you do see these little things that are different. Matt Nagy always wanted to come out and talk about how aggressive he was, but you never felt it other than him just passing the ball every down. In those situations, he always would have to call a timeout. He would always have to think about it, and then they'd come out and get a false start or whatever like that. Eberflus, it seemed to come in the flow of the game, Phil, even with the challenge. I said it immediately. I'm like, you got to challenge that, and then boom, there it is. It seemed so. Matt Nagy was always waiting for somebody to say, "Hey,
exactly,
pull your head out of your playbook."
Caught up in his
exactly.
You saw a head coach today.
Yeah, you did.
To your point,
totally agree.
Let's go back to this third down situation. Center guard, it was Schofield and Mustipher blowing an assignment and getting out physicaled. And then they try to run a draw to the backside, and we hated the call, right? It's third down. But if you're going to run that draw there, go for it on fourth down. You're on their side of the field. Later in the game, Simeon goes for it on fourth down, hits Dante Pettis through the seam. This is the time that you practice 2-point conversions. This is the time that fourth down situation gets taken care of across the 50-yard line. Let's go for it. Let's make sure we're getting those reps in those simulate a pressure situation for Justin. I felt like 100% with Shayne and in the game, texting back and forth. Yo, they should have went for it after they ran that play. But again, there is Lucas Patrick is clearly. I thought Kramer, to my dad's point, this is where the seesaw of analysis has to be. We have to put it in perspective of who Kramer's going up against versus who Mustipher was going up against to properly analyze. But at another point, you can see twitchiness, effort, and fundamental technique. And Doug Kramer, I'm telling you, he showed me a lot at center, and just eyeballing him again. I don't have the rewind capabilities because the NFL app is putrid, but
terrible.
Again, I was liking what I was seeing from the young center. I didn't get enough of the Jenkins situations. Shayne, you made a great point. If Jenkins is going out and you're putting Borom in at right tackle, put Jenkins in at left tackle. What are we
or
seeing?
Or vice versa, put
here?
Borom over at left tackle and keep him in there. He shouldn't be coming off the field.
My God, this is the time.
None of it feels right.
Best lineman is Borom. You put him at left tackle. They made that move during the second half. He played left tackle. I think that's where he should be.
Did he play left? I didn't see him play left.
He
thought he played right only.
No,
I could be wrong. Are you sure?
Yeah, I think they put him in. They put him back in at right tackle. They pulled Jenkins out.
I don't think you put Borom inside at guard. Yeah. No, I don't think you put Jenkins inside at guard. There's so many comments. The chat room is flush. Claudio and Jackal just put them up as they come, but I thought Jenkins looked good when he was given on the toss play. I felt like he should have peeked inside and got the linebacker, but he ends up going up top, and you could see it on the coach's angle. He gets the safety on that toss near the goal line. But to your point, Dad, I felt like Borom did do a great job out there, and I think Shayne and I are correct. It's the first scrimmage. I'm a little nervous about this offensive line coach and how he's using personnel. I just want to see a little bit. I hope so. I felt like
Teven
never
lies. The tape never lies to them too. When they look at those guys falling around, I watched Jenkins one time. And he pass protect, he lost his feet. I mean, he just didn't have it. His feet weren't under him. And so he looked bad on that one play, but I watched him again and he looked better.
Yeah.
So it's just,
I thought Braxton Jones.
It's a matter of going over this film and working your ass off if you're a line coach and know that your job is responsible to get these guys to protect that franchise quarterback you got back there. You better get him the time because he is accurate. He can throw. Give him time.
And Matt makes the great point. They have been very honest about mixing and matching them to find the right five.
That's right.
I felt like it was a missed opportunity. Shayne said it to me first, and I agree with him 100%. If Borom's going in at right, put Teven at left. If Borom's going in at left, put Teven at right. Keep these two guys on the field and find out some answers now. Now is the time. I don't give two Braxton Jones as well. I want to see. I felt like he did a great job early in that game. I want to see more of him too. Obviously, I think you have 3 tackles there. If you turn this around and get holy cow, I've caught up with him. You get this turned around, excuse me on that, you're going to get yourself in a situation where it's a good problem to have, that these offensive tackles out there. I felt like they all had their moments. Now, there was a toss play that I was upset with Borom, toss to the left with the 4th string running back, Darrington Evans, and Borom doesn't block his guy. He patty cakes. I would be all over his ass. This is a learning situation. And he ends up helping the kid up.
Get that cutoff.
Yeah, got to get that cutoff. But you saw some things. Braxton Jones, you really like that. And again, Mustipher issues are concerning. Now, I'm going to put some of these on. Let's bring back the touchdown. Obviously, this is another kid that I feel like this one's having an issue. I have no idea why. Why is it having an issue to be shown? That's dumb. I'll put it on there. Oh, because it's a movie? I apologize. I was trying to share the Ebner touchdown from a video file, and it's not sharing it. I have no idea why. Let's see what this is right here, Dad. Oh, this is Jenkins' body language on the sideline. This is why I didn't know any of these producers were going to be here. I would have had them do it. But here we go. This is what I wanted to talk about, is right here, safety. Right there on the hash, pointing out the coverage. He's recognizing it's 3rd down and 6 yards. Okay. And this is Jaquan Brisker. Thank you, Cool Kennedy, for the coverage. Now they're running a concept, double ends. They're going to run a slant and a dig behind it. A dig is to press the outside shoulder of the nickel or the linebacker that's matched up and then come underneath it as the other guy runs the slant to clear it out. Brisker has got to cover both because he's on the backside of zone coverage. So he's here at the 40. So he's really at the 39 on the hash. Do you see him? Watch him walk down. He's going to cover the slant, and he recognizes that it's throwing to the dig. Watch him put his face in there, and there's no way that was a 1st down. But this is a rookie understanding where he's going with the football. Again, hold up. Just want to play it again. We'll get to Coach Eberflus in a second. He walks down. He covers both, throws his body into that. That's the kind of football player that's going to turn the tides of games.
Well, we talked about that, Phil.
Oh, I know.
And I said, this kid is a killer. He is something else.
He is. I am so excited. The best thing I got out of this whole game was Jaquan Brisker already is saying to himself, walking to the locker room, this game is not bigger than me. That kind of football player getting that kind of confidence is going to be dangerous. Here's Coach Eberflus. You want to become a patron? Go over to the tapeneverlies.com. Become a patron.
I just want to talk about really 3 things. We talked about what we're looking for in this game is, first of all, the game day operation, and how we did as a group. and as you saw me, I was taking notes out there a lot today. Just
This
make
first
sure you get everything
game,
cleaned
Dad.
up in terms of the pre-game operation, in-game operation, and then any post-game
Thank you for the
operation we have
honesty,
tomorrow
Coach.
as we go through and evaluate these guys. So we have a step-by-step process which we go through. And again, there's some things that we got to get cleaned up throughout the day that went on, but and then really evaluating scheme in game. So I'm excited about getting that done for the offense, defense, and special teams as we start to evaluate our scheme. And I think the guys did well. Just an overarching view of it. The guys operated well. There's no pre-snap penalties. Very few penalties at all. I thought the kicking game operated really nice. And really the defense played well, in the second half, did a nice job of setting some short fields. I thought we played complementary football to win the football game. We had a goal at halftime to get that done, and the guys came through with that. So that was exciting in terms of the scheme, and then really player evaluation. There's some good performances out there today.
That's what I'm talking about,
Guys
Coach.
can learn. The biggest thing when you play sport, okay, any sport, you look at your individual responsibility and your individual performance, and then how can I get better? So if you had 60 plays and you played great in 58 of those, but hey, 2 plays I got to get better at something. We need to work
Claudio's
on that this
internet
week,
sucks
every
with
single
a little
practice.
choppiness.
Coaches
I don't know where Shayne went.
Together, coach, player, coach.
Where's this
to make our football team better?
interview?
Okay? And that's truly a partnership. And to me, that's the big process we're going through here right now. Then
no, I told him I was going to put it up. I was in the middle of it, and they put it up anyway. Just bounce that off, and I'll put up mine because this video sucks.
Taking care of
All right. That's what I didn't know where you went. I was trying. That was my subtle way of telling Jackal to fucking fix this on his internet side. Maybe I don't know where he was. Claudio's Dunkin' Donuts stolen internet wasn't working.
So I'm excited about getting that done for the offense, defense, and special teams as we start to
There we
evaluate our
go.
scheme.
Now we got
And
fluidity.
the guys did well. Just an overarching view of it. The guys operated well. There's no pre-snap penalties. Very few
Barbers
penalties at all.
getting free
I thought the
internet
kicking game
sometimes.
operated really nice. And then really the defense.
This is the preseason
did
for
well,
us too.
In the second half, did a nice job of setting
I
some
love
short
you,
fields. I
Claudio.
thought we played complementary football to win the football game. We had a goal at halftime to get that done, and the guys came through with that. So that was exciting in terms of the scheme, and then really player evaluation. There's some good performances out there today, and guys can learn. The biggest thing when you play sport, okay, any sport, you look at your individual responsibility and your individual performance, and then how can I get better? So if you had 60 plays and you played great in 58 of those, but hey, 2 plays I got to get better at something. We need to work on that this week.
That's
in every single practice.
what I'm talking about, Coach.
Say they partner together, coach, player, coach, to make our football team better. Okay, and that's truly a partnership. And to me, that's the big process we're going through here right now. Then I thought there's a lot of good.
He's 100% right
out there. You talked about how the effort in which we play, the intensity in which we play.
Talk
the
when
taking the ball away and taking care of the football, and then being smart in situations. I thought it was good. A lot to learn from. There's a lot of situations we can learn from. But again, I thought the energy and the intensity was right. Again, we took the ball away a couple of times on the short field, and we protected the ball on offense, which is really good. So I'm excited to be able to do that. I will open it up to questions from there.
Coach had a lot to say.
First unit offense without seeing the film. What's your initial assessment of?
Yeah, I thought it was good. I thought he operated good. I thought he was, I know he had a couple of drops there. They dropped a couple of balls there, but we'll get that cleaned up. We got to take those layups when he's checking the ball down.
Smash the like button.
Get those yards. But we'll
DT is saying.
But overall, it was good. His operation was good. In and out of the huddle was good. We had a challenge on the sideline where I think he hurried up, to get to the line so the opponent couldn't throw the challenge flag. Which
that was
good.
A great
Did a nice job operating there.
That's like mid-C. We were doing that in 4 fucking years. 4 years. They couldn't do that shit. So
yeah, I mean,
you're taking that's a great point, Coach. You're doing something
that's what we do. So certainly we like
that
that.
you didn't do in 4 years with
plays in
Nagy.
there, and you got to work.
You knew exactly how many plays. 18.
Sharp on the sideline when he's hanging in the pocket. What does that say to you just about the way that he's able to sense that sort of pressure, but also be patient through it and still make a play.
Yeah, I think that's we saw that. That was part of practice. We would let
This
them
is the
extend
first
plays, throw the
scrimmage.
ball down the field, and I think you saw.
I got to
he's
agree
got
with
great
this.
instincts. He's an
Jose.
instinctual player, and he has to harness that.
Bears
and
look
and he's doing that
organized.
right now.
They look like they had a plan.
To make you a little bit uneasy seeing him running around in the pocket, especially with the fear of injury early in preseason.
Yeah, we'll look at all those plays. And again, I can't rewind them in my mind right now, but we'll look at those plays where the pressures were, how we can firm it up. Was it a situation where we need to do a better job with our pass sets or whatever that might be? But we'll get that cleaned up.
I realize it's just a preseason game, but it's the first game you've ever been the head coach. Did you have a pregame speech ready or a speech last night ready? What was it like for you on a personal level to be in charge on game day, which you never really have?
Yeah, it was exciting. It's a long time coming, and I thought it was exciting. I think the coaches did an outstanding job with the game day operation. Including the coordinators being able to communicate with those guys, with Getsy, with
giving
Allen,
praise to his
Hightower.
staff.
They did a really phenomenal job. We were all on the same page the entire day when we were going for it, when we were punting, field goal, that whole operation. And it was prior to, first down.
The fucking fact that they challenged it
go for it
and sped up
3-1 here.
Those are huge
3 or
steps
less.
in coaching
So I
that
thought
we
that
see.
operation was really good. And then moving from unit to unit, that was really good. Going from field goal team or punt team, but overall it was great. I really enjoyed the moment. I soaked it in when we were doing the national anthem. So I think that was a cool moment for me.
There's
out
such
there
a
and,
likableness
locking arms
about
together. So
his
that was
vulnerability and his honesty.
You prepared for this as a staff. Is there anything you had to do as a head coach that you weren't prepared for? You didn't realize the head coach had to worry about during the game?
Come on.
Yeah, playing on a shitty fucking field.
Yeah, I didn't realize how much you talked to the officials during the game. There's a lot of conversation going on, but those guys did great. Those guys were with us the whole week, and they educated our players, and they did a phenomenal job educating, the coaches sitting there in the position meetings and talking to us. And really, we're just trying to learn. We're trying to play an aggressive style and play it a smart way.
I'm
and the only way to
impressed.
do that is if you learn and educate yourself on the rules. So those guys did a phenomenal job this week.
I'm impressed with the clarity. I'm impressed with how organized he was.
The process of how the communication.
I'm
went,
impressed
and
with
then obviously let the-
how
some
much
good things for you.
he
Yeah, I mean,
enjoys
that's
this
all part
game.
of it. We've been working on that the whole offseason, when to throw, when not to throw, who's communicating to who.
That's why it's
So the
important to
lines
watch
are
the
clean
whole fucking
up
game,
there so you
Shayne,
get good information.
and not
Imagine
And
that.
Manchester
really
United.
outstanding.
Get the fuck out of here.
Things you have to watch in a game.
Watch a soccer game. You wait fucking all year to watch it. You're gonna go, I'm gonna go out and I don't know how any of you stay.
Tackling,
Drives me
deflecting the
insane.
ball. I think he should have had, maybe a takeaway or two. But he was high energy, and man, he likes to hit. So I really like that aggressive style for him, how he's playing right now.
Going back to the preparation, you told us about how you were working with Harry, all these video sessions.
Yeah.
You said,
Oh,
yeah,
Kennedy
this is
capturing
that
those moments
preparation
today. He was
where
out there with
Yeah, I would say
Ivan
the
Alex
challenge flag. The
Acevedo.
challenge flag was one of them, and then all the talking about when to go, when we're going for fourth downs and getting that.
They must have
information early
fired the
so guys
fucking challenge
can
guy,
plan his
Coach
first,
Shayne.
second, third, going into the fourth down. If you get a first
I
down,
wanted
fine,
that
it doesn't
job.
Go, but I think that's
Just
really
to
helpful
help
the play
you.
caller to be able to get that information early, and then what we're doing early with Hightower also. What is our plan? Are we planning on?
Let me
going
tell you,
for it?
Trenton Gill
Punt? There's that quad zone where you're in the
did a
between the
great
40s
job
there,
punting today,
where you got a lot of decisions to make. And I thought
dropping
that
those
was
balls
good on his part.
inside the 10.
There were a few outside runs. Where the running
Cherie
backs,
must be
they
happy
would
with
get a
those
few,
balls.
inches to the outside, especially when receivers were holding up their blocks. Notably, Tajay Sharp. How does it feel for you when you see your receivers playing with such intensity in a preseason game?
Yeah.
Facebook user, I'll be impressed when you
put
go to StreamYard.com/Facebook and accept the term so we know who we're talking to.
Your business on those two positions. Obviously, DB's cover.
We only could be impressed
there's a second part
with
to that
what
job,
we
and that's
saw.
blocking. So
And I
our
didn't say
receivers
nothing
are
about
part
a
of big
record or
plays in a couple ways.
postseason.
The receiving part
All
of
I
it,
can
but
tell
also
you
the blocking part of it
is
And
the
those
reality
guys
of
did a
what
nice
we
job
saw.
with that. And that's Tyke has done a good job with those guys, working with them,
There's
finishing.
always one guy,
blocks.
Shane.
And you saw some of that today, which is really good.
Fields is up immediately after him, so we'll just leave it right up.
In your press conference when you first were hired, seeing this level of intensity, how
Blog
does it feel
boy.
for you as a coach, knowing that culture is being implemented?
No, it's good, but it goes back to what do you see in practice? whatever's on the grass in practice, you're going to see it on the grass in game day. So it's not a surprise because we've seen it. We've seen them doing it. It's the same thing with, takeaways and protecting the ball and blocking and finishing. That all has to be done way before you step onto the stage. So the guys did a nice job. And again, this is a preseason game. So
he's using the same analogy as me.
It was our first
must
time
be
out,
listening.
and we have a lot
The
to improve
stage.
on, but we like where they are.
Did you hear that, Facebook user? They like what they have a lot to improve on.
Yeah,
that's
I
what
think
we're saying here.
He's very competitive. He likes
starting with the
when
field.
the lights come on, and you can see him compete in practice. And he's a strong runner, and he's obviously got a lot of good speed too. So he can really turn it on to get the corner or to take it, the distance. So we're excited where he is too, and his blocking. He's doing a better job blocking, finishing runs. That's what we talked to the guys about, how we
Did
finish
it annoy you
runs,
to see Nagy
tackles.
out there? It
Those
just
matter because that's hidden yards for us
me.
In the game.
Go away,
game.
Matt.
President came out and said,
Hugging Roquan Smith after the game, whispering in his ear.
Yeah, I know those guys are, I don't know personally, I'm new here, so I don't really know all the situations, but I know the guys are trying to do their best. And the playing surface was passed by the NFL for us to be on. I thought it was firm and it was good. So that's where we're leaving.
Coach, don't go Nagy. Don't go Nagy on it. It sucked, Coach.
Big plays are nice. They're good. We need more of those.
No,
we don't need him back. We don't need him back up there.
Please. It did annoy me to hear that Nagy's embracing Roquan. I think that says a lot about Roquan himself. Aren't you worried about your deal, but you're out there and then you're hugging Nagy?
What's your overall assessment and what you're going to take away from your outing?
Oh yeah, I think it went all right. Of course, there's always room to go, but I think overall we
he's pissed off right there.
So it was all right.
He is pissed off. I could see it.
I mean, we can get better at a lot of things, pretty much everything. So there's always room to improve. We're not perfect at anything, so just improving overall.
This was talking the other day about you working on timing with a receiving core that obviously has had a lot of attrition and guys going in and out. What's been the challenge of that, of trying to develop timing when there have been a lot of guys missing?
Yeah, just seeing how different guys move. Of course, each guy has a different, kind of savviness to him and stuff like that. So, just kind of getting that down and, getting a bunch of reps with them and just really getting on the same page. So, I think that's a big
Plus, you got to understand in this, he doesn't have some of the guys that he's expecting. Velas,
just kind of gave him a signal out there.
Pringle, Mooney,
of course, preseason.
Cole Kmet.
So just gave him a shot, and he came down with it. He's a great receiver, has great ball.
And I'm only saying that
so I'm excited to see
because
what he does for us.
you're installing a new offense, so you want your best out there in these moments.
Yeah, we just changed the protection before the play, so just changed it to one of our max protections.
Justin, did you get an explanation on the play that appeared to be a late hit, or did you get to talk to the refs about that?
Yeah, I talked to them, when I was, I think in the second half about it, and they said that they hit me in the shoulder, but I was, looking for like an unsportsmanlike conduct or something like a.
Good, because we all were.
But I mean, I guess I just have to wait a few years, maybe 4 or 5 years before I get that one. So hopefully I get it.
Not a hit like that. You should be getting that.
I mean.
Eberflus has to do something.
I got the call, of course, but I mean, I couldn't do anything about it.
It was an easy call.
Looking at the film yet, what areas do you think the first team offense can improve on based on today's football?
Just like I said before, I think we can improve at everything. Just coming up from the ball, executing better. Of course, there were some plays where we didn't execute as well as we wanted to. So just
it was an easy call.
Getting better each and every
in
day,
a league that's protecting quarterbacks. If you go down, you're seeing people throw a flag immediately. It's kind of ridiculous that a flag wasn't thrown.
Or that tough throw to Tajay Sharp on the outside.
I mean, I feel great. Like I said before, I think even though a lot of guys are hurt, I feel like we have a good amount of depth at receiver where guys are hungry right now, and of course they want to make plays. So just seeing those guys go out there and make plays, it was awesome to see for sure.
Deep shot, you hit the Darnell. Can you take us through your eyes, that sequence, and what you saw in that play?
Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty much knew exactly what was going to happen. Man coverage, just like I said before, there's a lot of man coverage being played.
Great ball.
Preseason, just because teams want to evaluate their guys on defense and stuff like that. But yeah, I just saw man, and that
The fact that he's chewing gum, I love
Darnell
it.
was winning at first. And
what
then,
I do.
At one point, he was trying to beat him to a spot. So, I mean, I think, Darnell knew where I was going to put that ball. And, of course, I mean, I think that was a routine play for us, too. So, it was, of course, a great
You
catch
could
by
see
him,
the
but
offseason
we've seen that many times. So
cohesiveness is going
I
far.
mean, that's a trust throw, but obviously you make it as a routine because you have such trust.
Yeah.
How good does that feel to know going into the season that you've got that in your?
Yeah, I mean, it feels great, just knowing how he's going to run the route, how he's going to work the defender and stuff like that, where he's going to end up, just the chemistry between us two. And, of course, the work put in the offseason, that just, shows right there. So
having Luke on the sideline with you, was that like a preference of yours going your second year, wanting your OC down there so you could have that communication?
We didn't really talk about it. They
Absolutely,
just,
Michael.
Kind of had it.
No doubt in my mind.
Was going to be up in the box and he was going to be down there. So we didn't really discuss it before. And, of course, we're trying different stuff. But I like him down there.
How was it today, just in terms of the communication and getting the call in for 15 seconds?
It was good. I think it went really well. So it went good.
The offense overall, there were good moments, but to the 3 series to go punt. What do you feel like is next for you guys as a group to push past that and start having collective success?
Keep going. Keep working. That's it.
Go back to the sharp catch. Does a play like
He's
that
so
go a long way in building that
wants
trust
to
that you have
be
with Darnell, or is it just
go
like,
have more plays. That's what he is frustrated.
Going back to the Tajay sharp catch along the sidelines, does a play like that go a long way towards building a trust with the wide receiver, similar to how you have that trust with Darnell?
I think, Tajay is a lot like Darnell where, he can adjust the balls, thrown at him and stuff like that. And, of course, he has that savviness off the ball. And then, of course, he's probably 2 or 3 inches bigger than Darnell, too. So, he has a good range. He has great hands, like I said before. Great
Sharp
ball skills. So,
is a veteran
like I said,
playmaker in this league. I told you about him. I mean, this kid could make himself a roster spot.
In what ways did you kind of
That's
feel
it.
that the rhythm was there, that guys weren't having any communications issues, and it all seems smooth to you?
Yeah, definitely.
Was there is there confidence you can build off that? Just first time, a lot of new guys in the field, first time with a new play caller, that even though you didn't get the points, that part worked?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. I don't really know what to say that.
Whatever you said. Yep.
Yeah, I mean,
that was
they were
basically
talking about it in there. He needs to get the game ball for sure. He made plays on defense and special teams. So just seeing him go out there, ball out. Just seeing him coming to work every day. Seeing him put in the work. He's a baller, and of course he showed it out there on the field today.
There was a play where you guys were backed up in your own end zone, and it was hard to tell what happened. It looked like maybe you got hit in the leg. So you had a leg injury on the right side, or
no? I'm good.
I'm good, bro.
Yeah, I think.
Can we stop?
Hit me on the back. I have a little scratch on the back of my leg, but other than that,
His
scratch.
His cleat spike ripped his sock.
Improve on now off of this game. How much of it is just a matter of repetition and timing? And how does that, the need for...
He had 18 plays today, guys.
Is it any
I'm telling you, the only thing I didn't like, despite my dad, I felt like he could have stepped up in a pocket that was there instead of trying to evade out. That's the biggest criticism. I'm not worried about his timing. He threw the ball to
like I said before,
open spots in time.
Stacking days and continue to get better.
I like that.
The small details each and every day.
You do things instinctively, Phil.
You watch your performance.
But his escape out the back door through there, that's the kind of shit that he's going to be doing.
Go back to my room.
You gotta get, and there's no David Montgomery in there.
And stuff like that. So just
trust me,
process driven.
David Montgomery makes a huge difference.
Did my job.
Jesse, you talked about the level of comfortability that you gained with your second year. Was it more being uncomfortable or being a rookie last year? I kind of want to know specific of what makes it easier this year. Is it the routine or is it just the experience that you gained?
These
I think just the experience and just being here, I don't know. I didn't really know what to expect last year, but just being around the guys.
I'll show you on the tape, Spider. I'll show you with the tape.
Of what to
Trust
expect,
me.
So.
How did that show up though? Like in that,
it's 2 plays.
Talking about like just knowing how long you can hang in the pocket, the clock in your head.
Bill, can you make that louder?
No, that's it.
Something like that.
That's it. That's all we got.
Yeah, I mean, I think the internal clock comes with
Larry Mayer's mic.
But, also a route. I mean, I knew it was one-on-one the whole time. So I better not be
My
holding
mic?
him to the ball that long. If I
Larry Mayer's mic, the guy, the media.
But
they got it too low.
So I think
these questions
some plays,
suck
of course, you
anyway.
have to have that internal clock and just have that.
Justin,
feel
did you want more plays out there? Yes.
To escape,
Are you pissed off?
Of course, there's
You
always
look
that,
upset.
internal clock going off in your head.
Did you visit with Nagy at all before the game or after the game?
Yeah, I did. I talked to him before the game.
What do you have to say to you?
We just talked about family. How he's
I
doing,
told him to go
just
fuck himself
catching up a little bit.
for letting me down. What did you gonna say?
I mean, of course, I always want to play, but now is about.
I think he had enough
evaluating all
plays
the
on
guys, and
they got to evaluate personnel. So you take a guy out,
I'm
hurt
honestly
him or
just
whatever.
ready for week 1. So
Don't get him
that's
hurt.
the time where I want to play, but of course, it's really just up to coach. So it's not up to me. But yeah.
Oh, more. You had a chance to talk to Patrick before the game. Give you any words of advice?
These questions, man.
No, we just,
oh my
that
God.
was my first time meeting him in person.
It's
so
embarrassing.
It was cool to talk to him and just kind of get to know him a little bit.
Justin, with the offensive line that is shuffling people around, how would you
Come on, Herb.
performance today while you were under center?
I think they were pretty good. Held up in the pocket pretty good. And of course, there were a few plays where some guys might have got beat, but it's going to happen. We're in the NFL at the end of the day, and just like I said, I think all of us are going to keep working and just continue to get better. So.
Last one.
Talking about the field.
Conditions, saying that it was very critical of it. Did you have any issues, or did you think that was up to proper standards?
I mean, it's kind of always been like that. It was definitely better than the family test. Just earlier this week. So
I love you, Justin, for that.
What it was earlier this week, because earlier this week wasn't the best, but the grass could definitely be better there for sure.
Holy shit! Clip that.
I mean, to be honest, last year I used our home field as an advantage because I knew, how our grass was. So, I know other teams didn't know how it was, so I kind of used it to my advantage and running. And
Don't
like
give
that.
Ted Phillips any ammunition.
Like that, but yeah.
Justin.
Appreciate you guys.
Have a good one.
Oh my God. Make sure that is clipped, because that right there is gold. Where he talks about the field. It's bad. That's where, if you're just tuning in, Bears Hour Live in first preseason form. We got our first episode of BHL of the season on a Saturday afternoon. 741 of you strong with us. Your wives, your significant others, your husbands are allowing you to be here with us. That's amazing to me. I'm so excited about it. Here we are talking.
Mayor Lori Lightfoot is got a presser talking about talking about the field conditions. Do you want me to pop it up?
Well, in case you don't know my name, my mama named me Rufus.
That's not the right one.
My boy Rufus. Oh man, yes. Something's got to be done about the field, obviously. But listen, they're trying to find answers. I'm finding answers as a coach. Let's go through it. Check the box. He had the guys ready to play. He's assessing and giving you honest answers. We saw the challenge flag. We saw the preparation. We saw the team tackling. You could see they're placing an emphasis on tackling and hustling to the football. That and above itself are going to be great things. And then the key is the catch by Sharp and getting this new offense to hustle up to the line of scrimmage and actually be a goddamn modern day football team.
Well, you heard him talk about that, Phil. On that play, they're like, the Bears hustle up here so they don't give them time to review it. How many times did the Bears actually get screwed over from that?
5 years
They're just
of dealing
walking.
with it.
Yeah.
Are we in high school?
Lack of discipline.
Yeah,
They had no discipline. They couldn't do anything. They couldn't go on two.
And it was more than 5. It was more than 5 years. It was 4 years with Nagy. It was 3 years with John Fox. So it's been the better part of a decade where little small things like that. When they tell you that every inch matters in the NFL, that is part of it. Those little coaching tidbits are part of it.
That's why you watch this network, because somebody's going to tell me to my face that it does. Phil, it doesn't matter that they didn't call the offensive pass interference. It doesn't matter that they didn't call pass interference. It doesn't matter that they didn't run the ball. Yeah, it does. Because every inch does. That's how you win.
Ask the New Orleans Saints.
Yeah.
Exactly. Football,
They would have been
every
going to the
inch.
Super Bowl.
Every inch. You're 100% right.
Penalty. Remember that defensive penalty? They hit that guy?
Of course. And
Yeah.
it wasn't called.
Even there.
Happy birthday, Sergio Saucedo Jr. I'm glad you got a birthday gift from the Chicago Bears victory. My son Tate was so excited that the Bears were out there playing football. It was nice to see the Chicago Bears. Although Tate did have a complaint that I want to see.
Real quick
Shayne
before
has.
you address the complaint.
You got to
of
answer
Tate.
this for you.
I will. Just you got to answer that. You got to answer
Okay,
this
go
because
ahead.
this is the first show of the year. I want you to address this. Go ahead. Get it out of the way.
All we got to say to you, Pat Ormond, is go over to the Bears site and watch the interview without us talking about it. I'm not even going to be rude to Pat because I think Pat's new to this. He's Brutus. He's new to this, Brutus. We talk over it here on this show. If you would like to listen to it uninterrupted, go over and watch it there. When someone will say, well, that's dumb. You're sending people away from your show. No, that is our show. It's to talk about what is being said, analyze every bit.
Be reactionary.
Right. Exactly. Now, Tate wanted a question to you, Shayne. Did it bother you that Jackal was nowhere to be seen? I mean, no, it wasn't. Did it bother you that the Chicago Bears insignia was like a light blue?
Yeah, Phil, you know me way too well.
Tate was focused on. I go, why is it that color? Why do you think you're doing? Must have been 14 of questions.
I said the same thing to Riley. Riley came down. He's like, "That's not the." I'm like, Riley, I'm just trying to get it out of my brain, but it's little things like that.
When your son comes up into your face, Dad, because you're not answering it for the 12th time. But why is it like that? And I'm like, we're gonna talk. I'm gonna ask Shayne what he felt.
Yeah, it drives me nuts. I mean, you have a color scheme. Stick to it.
Exactly. What are they doing?
It's like they went on to, oh, this shade blue's on sale this week.
I thought the
Let's just spray paint this on there.
Was about to get pulled out. Royal blue and white. There you go. No, I'm glad that you guys find. Some people don't care about that shit. It was an emphasis for him, and I was like, I wonder if Shayne must be doing the same thing. Like, I remember that one game, not to get off the subject, but Troy Aikman was doing a broadcast of a Thursday night Bears game, and on the screen, it was like he was young in this, so I was dating myself back into the late 90s. On the screen, the Bears helmet is black, orange, and white, and he's like, yeah, that Bears black, orange, and white uniform. I tell you, I'm like, they're not black, you asshole. How long have you been playing in this league?
They only look black in the Super Bowl because they were drenched in rainwater. They looked jet black when they played the Colts in the Super Bowl. But yeah,
they did.
I get it.
They did. They bring back the black cleats. How about that, Coach?
Yeah.
Bring those back too. Anyway, we saw a lot of good things. Let's focus on the good as well. Obviously, Brisker, and I mentioned Trenton Gill. Here's the rookie punter dropping them consistently inside. In fact,
the most impressive punt of the day was the one when he drove the guy right out of it. He caught it and drove him right out of bounds with the momentum. That was beautiful.
That was a beautiful kick. And you had Lawrence Funk talking about this kid on Keeping It 100. Keep an eye on him. Everybody, all you TTNL heads, the Chicago Bears victorious in their first scrimmage. It's so nice to be back here. I see Edwin Lopez and Pascal Johnson. We have Sergio Saucedo's birthday. If you have a birthday or anything, Sandberg, though. Berg or Bourne? I keep messing them up. Sanborn out of Wisconsin.
You must have been at the top of your fucking class.
Great drop. Jackal. I love you for that one. I know who you are. I know who you are.
Actually, real quick about the drops. I had a meeting with Cars last night on
Yes.
StreamYard to riff about our new patron show, Cars Keys, that will be coming up in a couple of weeks.
Cars
Taking kind of like an
Keys.
analytical, new age look at some things. And so
Yes.
I had to give him access to StreamYard, and he didn't really want to participate in the meeting too much because he was intoxicated by being able to run the drops. So he was like a little kid, and I lost him for probably a good 25 minutes.
There's hope, guys. There's hope.
Yes,
Like,
there's hope.
This Jackal don't do shit. I'm just gonna play it 7 times in a row.
Why not? We all do. Anyway, it was Trenton Gill, Brisker, Sanborn. Those guys, the kid Coley at the end, you got to take that.
Trayvon, yeah.
Can you build off of that? Because he's going against the second string. You have to put these into perspective. Dominique Robinson, though, he has uncoachable traits that are freakish.
Oh, yeah.
He's in that length and that fluid movement. You have a young guy that's going to give you some good things. Sharp, obviously, we talked about. Let's talk a little bit about him. He's somebody that can make a place for himself. That's what I want. I want someone. I know Tajay coming out of UMass. This kid played his ass off. He built his brand and went down to Tennessee, was making plays there. Unfortunately, you get banged up. Sometimes you get passed over in this league. Younger, faster, stronger. Now he's got an opportunity with all these injuries. Would Tajay be out there that soon? I don't know. But I certainly know when he was out there. Dante Pettis making that catch through the seam. Say what you want. Shayne's joking with Ryan Cox about Finkel. Fink?
Finky?
How do you say his name? Fink?
Yeah.
Out of Notre Dame.
When he made that first cut, I instantly defaulted to thinking, I'm like, Phil, that's gonna be Phil's dude. Telling you.
No, I was most impressed with him running up under the punt and catching the football and giving you 7 years. We haven't seen it since Devin Hester. Guys run, and sometimes Devin would drive me crazy. With just letting the ball hit the ground. If that ball is up there that high, run up no matter where the fuck it is and do your job and catch it and give your team an opportunity to have a shorter field and a bigger opportunity to score. So you see those types of things going down. Those things are important to me. Those things are very important to me. The offensive line. I saw a lot of good things out there. Again, you haven't gotten your final 5. You haven't seen those.
And you're not going to have it in the preseason because Patrick is going to be out. I mean, when he's back, he's gonna be part of that 5. But you're not. Unfortunately, they're not going to have it in preseason. So it's going to be a revolving door, and unfortunately, unless they decide to put Kramer in there, it's going to be more of Sam.
By the third preseason game, you're going to see the offensive line stable.
I wonder if they do, Shayne. Because they've condensed the preseason, Dad.
So
to 3 games.
The second preseason game is now the dress rehearsal.
Yeah. So is it next week going to be like American Idol
Thursday night?
Thursday night against the Seahawks.
It's
on national TV, Dad.
Yep.
So you can watch it on ESPN. Bears versus Seahawks Thursday night. We'll be live right here. Yes. Okay. Yeah. You guys in the chat. It's preseason. So I want some of the guys that you guys want to talk about that. I did like what I saw of my guy, Muhammad. This dude, 55.
Somebody told you about him back in January, but
yes,
I'm not
you
here.
did.
And I'm some good pass rushers out there.
Oh yeah,
Dude Treadway from I'll give Notre Dame some love. I know he had the sack there at the end of the game, but he was that was who Phil was talking about. Dominique Robinson.
That's who we broke him down. That was the kid from Miami, Ohio, the former quarterback turned wide receiver, turned
That's right, we did.
defensive edge rusher.
I just saw the speed on that guy and realized that there's so much potential there.
Exactly.
The technique's not there, but the potential's there because when you speed kills. When you have a guy that can rush the passer like that, you got to do something with him.
Oh,
that Michael Dew Treadway is a guy that I want to dive into a little bit. I saw a couple explosive get-offs from him today that kind of caught my eye. So I want to dive back into that a little bit. But that's where Notre Dame kid and the Bears are gonna
Gibson. We shouldn't skip him.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely not.
He hit Mahomes twice as he's releasing it.
Yep. Oh, the one third down play that he had to the tight end. He was right there, but that was Mahomes being an elite quarterback.
Totally agree, Shay. Yeah. I'm like, fuck Gibson. And then you don't have your best. I'm saying it for the record here. I waited for BHL. Your best defensive player's not out there, and he's not holding out. His name is Robert Quinn. He's your best on the whole defense, and it's not close to me. And when you add that, Gibson, Muhammad, and now you get a freak, and maybe you have to keep another young guy because you have this much talent, then you could start winning with 4, Shayne. And we know what happens when you start winning with 4. Turnovers. Because the pass rush, when you're just rushing 4, allows those nickel situations or inside linebackers to get to their spots and get to the football. This is a good problem to have. And again, it's just the first scrimmage. These guys have been dying to go up against somebody else in another uniform. And what we saw out there was great today in the perspective that the defense stat is always going to be ahead of the offense. It's just a fact of football.
Right.
That you talked about it. They got to figure out the offensive line. I think the whole world knows that. So Bullets will write us later. They got to figure out the offensive line at 12 at night tonight.
Yeah. Real quick, Jared. Yeah, he did. He played it. Somebody's they gave me 0.5 seconds to address
Minnesota.
That. Yeah, no, he started at Notre Dame. He was at Notre Dame for 4 years and then transferred to Minnesota.
Exactly.
So, yeah.
There's a history, Jared. Shayne is on top of all the history. Ask Jackal.
Not just Greg's mom. I'm on top of history, football knowledge, everything. Did I say that out loud? Are we still live? Oh, sorry, Greg.
Trestan Ebner. I tried to put I don't know why it didn't let me share the video file of Ebner scoring a touchdown. It's like ridiculous. Maybe it's got to be a lowercase MOV when you use it from your phone. Well, here's Cool Kennedy, thankfully, in the stand. I don't know what Alex Acevedo was doing. Nothing. But Cool Kennedy was filming. And here's the big play. Nope, this is the touchdown by Cool to our guy, Daz Newsome. The double clutch.
Double clutch Daz.
Now here, you're going to see, we haven't seen one of these concepts. We got a stack. So look at him stacked. He's about a good 2 yards behind to allow himself to release, hide. The goal is to get low in your break here. So watch what happens. You're going to get a guy running through, underneath on a shallow cross. The first guy. The next guy is going to run to the post to try to bracket off that. And he gets smashed. Excuse me, he runs the out, pulls that corner.
It's a hell of a ball.
Great throw, great catch. The fan putting his hands up needs to get some credit here. Watch. Who is this fan? I would have given them a shirt. Fan there, hands up already.
Yeah,
good. It might be Jackal. It might have been Jackal. And there's Ivan. There's Alex Acevedo. What's he doing?
He loves that look.
I'm telling you right now, man. That was a good ball, brother.
Golly, what the hell?
What? Alex Acevedo. I just
What's
I wanna
better?
leave
What's
that-
better, his face or Ivan's?
Ivan's eye?
Yeah.
Alex Acevedo. Wait, we got something here on defense here. Oh, this was the Brisker play.
Yeah, Brisker. That was the one.
I did have the Ebner touchdown on the. I love that route, the Texas route. Hopefully, this one is it.
Yeah, imagine something.
I think that's the same play.
Same one. Yeah, it is.
Jesus.
So you're
Christ.
talking about that, Phil, the Texas route, just a simple concept that we never.
We saw it against Tampa
once,
with Tariq Cohen back in 2018. I swear to you. And I waited and I waited. You got David Montgomery. You're going to shotgun all the time. And you don't fucking run that route? Is this it? No, this is the Brisker play. For God's sake. Did someone put it up? Fucking Jackal don't do shit.
Poor Jackal.
Poor Jack.
Thanks, Coach.
There's Teven on the side. I don't know where it is, but I'll
Yeah.
find it after the show, apparently. Jesus Christ. Where is it? That's not it. I got to get it up there. See how I said there so Jackal couldn't clip that? It's not. Does someone have Cool Kennedy's video? Here it is. It's on my desktop with a heart. I don't know how it's not in the... Put it in the books, bro. We're going to get it over there. Very careful with what I say so you don't get a drop on me. Is this it now? Let's see. I don't even know where it had it. No, for fuck's sake.
I'm putting up the same play.
It doesn't, because it doesn't, it doesn't have a name under it. So I have to guess. And I can't see. It's so
fine,
good.
man. But yeah, well, we're gonna. Like I said, I'm still looking for. Take yourself off the screen. You look like a bug landing on a windshield.
What? Shy's barking. Can't believe we can't see this play. I don't know. I give up. I know it's somewhere in there.
We didn't talk about
It's
something.
the same play.
I want to cover this.
Yeah, go ahead.
Special teams were excellent. They got this kid Gill.
Yeah.
Yep, the punter.
That was their last
coverage,
pick.
the tackling, returns. You got some good people. It's going to help the team. I'll tell you something. Special teams are an important factor in a football game.
Oh, 100%, Coach. I mean, I know Pat O'Donnell, the Bears' former punter, was here since 2013, I believe. But I used to. Everybody makes a joke of it when I talk about special teams, but it wins and loses you football games.
Oh,
and when you can flip a field with a good punt, I mean, it can make all the difference in the world, especially when you're a rebuilding team.
I got to tell you a story. Just to your listeners, I was in junior college, and we're playing against this team, and we're in a thunderstorm.
Yeah.
Right? And the ball, of course, they won the toss, and they decide to kick it off to us. So we huddle up, and our coach says to Milton Thomas, who was our quarterback, was also our punter. He said, I want you to catch that ball and punt it back to him. Have you ever seen that?
No.
He caught the ball and punted it back to him and rolled all the way to the goal line. And we jumped on top of that ball without it going in the end zone. And they lost the game 6-0 because we scored on the next possession, and that was the key to the ball game. Talk about special teams and a coach that was smart. We don't want the ball either. Kick it back to him.
Give it back.
Oh, it's unbelievable. In college football, you don't postpone the game until the next day. You play it.
There it is, Phil. Look at that. Look at the look at the lane. You're on mute. Phil's on mute. There
I
you
don't
go.
know. Jackal did that shit.
There
Here we
it is.
go. Underneath. And you see him get to the end zone.
Before
Get
he
this-
even made his cut. I mean, if you run that back before he
Look at
even
him
made
right
his
there.
cut. Yeah, but even earlier, look at it, how it's developing. I mean, right now, you can see it now. He's got his plant foot in before he beautiful play.
The guy was playing outside leverage.
Yeah.
That's how crazy it is. And then he beats him inside with this good speed. And you obviously see that he can take it right to the head. That is critical. This kid is going to be a dynamic weapon for the Chicago Bears as you offset these backs. You got 3 backs. I like what I saw even with our guy. Your guy, the 4th string back, Darrington Evans.
Yeah.
So all of that
Victory.
stuff for the positive side of things. The negative side for me, guys, was the field, obviously, first and foremost. I did not like how they started this game out philosophically. I wanted to see what they were going to do. And again, Sam Mustipher continues to baffle me with his presence on this football team.
They're not game planning in preseason
not
game
at all.
1. So you have to keep that context is key in this. You'll see a little bit more next week, but I'm going to be excited moving on to Seattle. This next game is to see if Trenton Gill can have another positive game. See if Jack Sanborn can make plays. To see if Ebner can make another play. I want to see Daz Newsome back there again on a punt to see if he's corrected his mistakes, because that's what this is all for. I want to see Justin Fields in the pocket, deliver a ball downfield. I want to see
him more comfortable again. The protection
Well,
stuff is key.
That's where it's been tricky, though, Phil, because at times he looks extremely. One of the knocks against Justin coming out was he could process. He needed to speed up that process. And I saw a little bit of that today. I mean, you can look cool as a cucumber back there, but still, you got to be, it's like a, duck in water, and those little feet under the water are moving 1,000,000 miles an hour. But you want him to maintain his composure, but the overall process still, to me, needs to speed up overall.
I totally agree with you.
Maybe he's not good at recognizing pre-reads, and maybe he's confused when they confuse him. You know what I mean? They try to confuse him.
Yeah,
right.
Basically, you should know where you're going to go until you take it away, and then you go to somewhere else. So your pre-read is going to tell you where you want to go, and you go back and you don't want to look at it. So you turn your head a little bit, and then you go back to it. That's or just look straight ahead.
You
and
have
then
to
go
act.
there.
Yeah, you always want to act.
You
got to know what you
You
have
got to look there right away,
and
if
give
it's
them
not
something
there,
else.
You got to wait. But that's the thing I think he has to. You're right. He's got to speed up that, and the pre-read is what you got to look for.
I'm agreeing with Peter here. These are the things we're going to be talking about all week leading up to the next game. And center, right guard, those comments. Offensive tackle, those are questions. Obviously, Cody Whitehair, I believe, is your staple at left guard, but everybody else to me should be in this competition. And this offensive line coach should come away with answers this week. Don't pick fucking favorites. Don't do it. Let the best play, because Schofield didn't look great to me out there. He looked weak at the point of attack. And again,
he looked slow to me.
Slow, weak. Yeah. Same with Sam Mustipher.
He's a backup offensive lineman.
Favorites. Don't give me fucking favorites. If Dieter Eisland can play the fucking position and has a lot of strength, but I need to see that shit on the field, not in the third, fourth quarter. I need to stop with this politics shit on the line. I need the answers that are true. If Teven Jenkins is your best tackle, get him out there. If you have to give him a pat on the back, hype him up a little bit to benefit your program, then do it. Bring him in your offense. Talk to this man. Got to do something because you need some answers for that quarterback. You really do. And I'll tell you right now, I was impressed. It was Brisker number 1, Kramer number 2 for me. That's how it went for me on the offense. I mean, on the rookie class.
Right, I was gonna say because you got to put Sharp up there, but not.
Yeah, Brisker number 1
and
rookie class. That kid Kramer.
Braxton Jones continued to show. I think he showed
he did
what you wanted to see. I mean, you just didn't want him to go out there and be like, "Oof, maybe they're trying to force a square peg in a round hole." And I believe he was the one that got pushed. I think he was the one that stepped on Justin.
He was,
I believe. Yeah.
You don't want any like old network fake fights. You want some real competition, not something that's pretend and all that stuff. You want real. To your point, Braxton Jones better be okay. Now the next guy compete with Braxton. You also didn't have Riley Reef out there. You didn't have Cole Kmet. You didn't have Shaughnessy. I wanted to see a lot more of this 87. He made a great catch on that waggle route.
Yeah.
Bryson John.
He even had the turf tape from his wrist all the way up to his shoulder on both arms. I'm playing on grass.
One other thing I wanted to say about Ebner's TD, watching it from the coach's angle, not from Cool Kennedy's angle, this ball is thrown behind his pads here. He plucks that ball like nothing, like a natural receiver.
Instinctive hands
that needs
something that
to be
showed up on all of his college tape.
I have to point that shit out right now. That is a huge deal for me because that means
you have some good receivers. There's no doubt about it, and speed.
Yeah, a lot of they're unproven.
They can challenge you vertically, and they got speed.
Well, the kid Dante Pettis did as well. Forced down. I like the fact that Getsy put him in a situation and got the seam route there. And real quick, as we move forward, the takeaways that I don't want to mess up our Bears. Bear up, Bear down will be back Wednesday night. We got the 100th episode of Keeping It 100. And hopefully we're going to have a lot of surprises this Wednesday night. Yes, you heard it right. We've done 100 episodes. This will be the anniversary. Our special guest is friend of the network, David Kaplan, will be jumping on. What did he see? What is he hearing? The Wk.1 situation. Will that get undone? All of that. 100th episode. Join us there Wednesday night. We're going to be breaking it all down to get you ready for the next night when Bears Hour Live will be back with all of us again, breaking down Bears Seahawks on Thursday Night Football, where all the answers are. And we might have other surprise guests coming on the 100th episode of Keeping It 100. I can't even believe that, but I thank all of you fans. Again, not only are 671 of you right now watching live, smash the like button. Yes. Don't be that guy running fucking gassers, not touching the line. Don't let me get on you. Run to the subscribe, run to the like, smash it, touch it, and then run your ass back or get the fuck out of this chat. That's what I say. I don't want you here if you can't hit a like button, for God's sake. Or are you stealing our thoughts? Could be that as well. Get your gassers, but the reality is Coach Flus, Dad, is a head coach, his first debut at Soldier Field. I got to say, I'm giving him a thumbs up for what I saw out there today. Things that we haven't seen, as Shayne said, in 7 years being done. He must have been nervous. He must have had a lot of emotion going on. I thought he handled the presser well. But what did you think about his performance on his first stage, if you will?
You're asking me?
Yeah, you're the coach. Who else to talk?
What? I looked at him. He was making comments, writing comments down and everything, but I thought he was well into the game. He knew exactly what he was doing. The thing, you can't tell anything from that. I was impressed basically with the defense. I saw him on film with the Colts there, and I was wondering if he can get that out of the Bears, and boy, did he.
Yeah,
He
you
got
saw.
tackling. He got pursuit. The guys were running all over there. They were hustling their butt off like they knew they were going to be in chains that night if they didn't. And they did. They hustled. That was the difference. And if the Bears played like that last year, they would have won a few games. I want to take a few more. That's the way you got to play. You got to play defense first, Phil. You got to play tough defense. Because you know
I
what
agree
happens?
with you. Get it back.
You play tough defense. When you play tough defense and you're on offense, your offensive linemen have got to block those guys. And if they don't, you don't have a running game. So if you really want to have a running game, you better go against the good defense and stop blocking them.
Yeah.
That's the key.
And the classy thing, though, I'm sorry. The classy thing in the presser, he thanks all his coaches and what a great job they did. And you fans are on top of it as well. There is no penalties here on this football team. Your first audition.
I was surprised.
No penalties, no false starts, no Charles
Teven
Leno slip-ups.
Teven had one, but that was more so on the quarterback.
That was on the
Simeon held the
quarterback.
ball way too long, but yeah.
You have to say that for the trolls.
But-
You're right. Shayne.
Right. But that's the thing, and we alluded to
did
this
have a
earlier.
penalty.
Yeah. These guys are idiots. But anyway.
You guys are idiots.
What I like to see, I was excited about seeing him be the CEO and not the offensive coordinator / head coach.
Defensive
Looking at
coordinator.
this, all of that, you could see it like we talked about, Phil, just in the challenge and going forward on fourth down. How many times have we watched Matt Nagy call a timeout? He's like, hey, I'm built on being aggressive. I'm going to default to that, but let me call timeout first just so we can talk this over. No, that's not being aggressive. That means you're making the decision in extra time because you need it. So I don't want to hear the fake aggression, but I know we're just about 90 minutes in here. I think it's smart. No delay of game after timeout.
Great call.
Yeah, real quick, Phil, send
ahead.
everybody over to our Patreon to sign up, www.thetapeneverlies.com, and you can talk about the shows, Phil.
I got to talk about the shows before we wrap up, guys. The tapeneverlies.com. I'm telling you right now, we're going to have a season like no other. We have what Shayne have already teased is Cars Keys. The song has already been produced. Now it's in the hands of the freaking handlebar mustache. And we'll see what he comes up with there. And Cars and Shayne will be sitting down each and every week, breaking down the opponent with tape and facts, breaking down how he thinks the Bears should attack the opponent. That's going to be
an analytics. That's the big one. Cars and his analytics. He loves all that, so he's going to provide you with all that.
So it's going to go beyond the tape. That's a little surprise there. Then you have X's with the O's every Saturday. We're going to be breaking down critical key facets of the game. Right there. Me and my dad every Saturday morning, we're going to go on the film, breaking down the tape. What were the big plays? What were the things that we saw on the offensive line that were critical, or the defensive line? Whatever the story of the game is, that's where we're going to focus. Then you have Eric Kramer, the QB School. Every Thursday afternoon will be live on our Patreon, and he is going to focus on 4 Justin Fields plays. It might be a defensive play, he said, Phil. I want to be able to show people the critical moment of the game on that side of the football as well. So you got Kramer's QB School, Carr's Keys, X's with the O's. Every month or twice a month, there's going to be a master class with Coach Atoshin and myself. I will host. Coach O is going to go on the big board, the whiteboard, and answer your questions. So you're going to send those in on Patreon. What's a 3 technique? What's this coverage? What's a trap play? What is this play the Bears run? And my dad will break it down on the chalkboard, which is the whiteboard. And that'll be
$7.
anything you have, any questions you have. Then you're going to have DDP's The Tape Never Lies video series. This year, I'm only going to put a snippet, a teaser, if you will, just the tip on our YouTube channel. Everything else will go. My video breakdown, if you love that, that'll be on the Patreon side. All
Don't
of
forget,
that.
Draft Mob
will be back. Cars, myself, and Shayne Marsaw. Bears nerd, Shayne, myself, breaking down the draft all throughout the season to get you ready for, well, that'll be later in the season that we focus. Obviously, a lot of focus, a lot of tape on the Chicago Bears. There's not going to be, is someone loafing? I'm going to find it. You know I am. And then somebody else is going to try to steal my tape? Hell fucking no.
Yeah,
you guys
real
know
quick.
what my breakdowns are.
Real quick, I think this is key. Tonic Coker says, I hope the Wk.1 deal gets done. Pre-game, Ryan Poles had an extremely interesting comment. I believe it was to WBBM where he said, hopefully after this game, we can get something done with that situation.
Wow.
So
That
is it a
maybe-
contract extension? Is it a potential trade? To me, I think all signs point to a deal getting done. If this
He's out there, right?
He's out there. He was at Family Fest. I think that they've made some progress. They're not talking about it. I think Roquan Smith was made very aware that if you're going to try to do this publicly, then that's going to be an issue here. But that's something that piqued my interest pregame. So I would just keep your ears to the ground on that one. You may see something pop up in true Chicago Bears fashion, maybe tonight, maybe by 6 a.m. in the morning. That's usually how the Bears operate. But I think they want him out there for this dress rehearsal
we'll
in
be
Seattle.
live tomorrow, and my wife will love it.
Yeah, but we're over the 90-minute mark here. Phil,
I'm going to wrap it up and say this, guys. Wednesday we'll be back. Please understand, BHL, the best Bears post-game bar none. This is a preseason game, and we're analyzing everything about the game instantly. The passion, the pride that you have for this team. Become a patron. Push us to 1,000. That's been the goal. We have a plan when we get there. And trust me, if you're a part of the family, you know it's not phony. It's not bullshit. People could try to duplicate or imitate, and I don't find it a flattering thing. I find it a competition for me because I'm going to bring it every fucking time, just like today. I hope you enjoyed the show, and all of the Tape Never Lies fans out there, we'll be back. Bears Hour Live next Thursday, right after Bears Seahawks. David Kaplan on Keeping It 100, the 100th episode, Wednesday night, 8:30 East, 7:30 Central. For the smartest man, Shayne Marsaw, and my guy, my dad, Coach Atoshin. I'm your guy, Draft Dr. Phil, and this has been Bears Hour Live. Thanks to Cool Kennedy, Alex Acevedo, and Ivan Vargas that were out there. We tried to get them on, but the connection wasn't good. But we'll get it. We'll get it done next time. Get her done.
Thank you for watching Bears Hour Live, the best post-Bears game show on the planet, on the Tape Never Lies Network.